Hi everyone, we're doing SAT practice, exponents, radicals, polynomials, and rational expressions. This one is the first set of the harder type problems. So we have to simplify this expression here. And this is a times here. This is times, not an x. That's times. And just remember, this right here can be written as xy to the 1/2. So basically, we're going to go ahead and get started. This equals, I'm going to go ahead and take care of the 3 here. So basically, this is going to be, I'm going to use my product property and multiply. This is right here, and we'll get x to the 6th, y cubed over x to the 7th. And it's hard to write this, y squared. And I'm not going to put the times because it looks like it's x. I'm just going to write it this way, xy. Okay, now let's take care of this part some more. And I'm going to do it professionally. Some of you already know where all this goes, but this is really x to the 6 minus 7 times y to the 3 minus 2. And I'm going to go ahead and keep this xy here. So this is x to the negative 1, y to the 1 times the square root of xy, which is really, I'm going to go ahead and keep it that way. So we have x to the negative 1, y to the 1, and this is going to be x. Remember up here we have this, right? So I'm going to write that as xy to the 1/2. So now what I'm going to do is group my x's together and my y's together. So remember, this is just x to the 1/2, y to the 1/2. I'm gonna, that's part of your property. So when I group my x's together, I'm going to x to the negative 1, x to the 1/2, y to the 1, y to the 1/2. And now I'm going to use my product property and write this as x to the negative 1 plus 1/2 and y to the 1 plus 1/2. So this is going to give you x, let me go down in here, x to the negative 1/2 and y to the 3/2. So what I can do is write this as square root of x. So I'm going to write y to the 3/2 over x to the 1/2. Now x to the 1/2 is the square root of x. Now the part that's probably, everything so far has been okay, but the part that's probably bothersome is that. So basically the way you can write this is for your radicals, this is really, I'll write it up here, square root of y cubed. And what it means is, what I can do is divide. I can say 2 goes into 3 one time, so I can pull the y out, and I'm taking the 3/2. So I'm saying 2 goes into 3 one time, so I can pull out the y, and I have 1 left over, so the leftover stays inside the radical. And that's how I do that. And then you still have this x to the 1/2, which we can write as the square root of x. So my answer here is A. Okay. Next, this is considered hard. So basically, you have to know this kind of thing for advanced mathematics. So what we want to do is if you look at the answer choices, each of the answer choices compare y to some expression. So we're going to rewrite the equation in terms of y by adding b to both sides. All right? And we'll write b to both sides. The equation looks more like the answer choices. So what I'm going to do is take add b, take this and add b to both sides. So we get y equals a minus 2 to the negative x plus b. Now I'm going to combine everything, and I get y equals a plus b minus 2 to the negative x. Okay? Now we have to look at the information given and some of the properties. It is given that a and b are both greater than 0. That means they're both positive. Okay? So this means the term 2 to the negative x is also positive, because raising a number to a negative power simply means writing it as a reciprocal. So when x is large, this number becomes, if x is big here, this whole number here becomes very small, because this is really 1 over 2 to the x. So the larger this number comes, the smaller it gets. So basically, y is equal to a positive number minus another positive number. Okay, so positive number minus another positive number. So it follows that a plus b minus 2 to the negative x is going to be less than a plus b, because you're subtracting right here a very small positive number, so it has to be smaller than that. Well, this right here equals what? Y. So y is less than a plus b, and so it matches a. Okay. Yeah, we have one more. We have this problem here. So the first thing we want to do is I want to factor out the denominator here. So I'm going to find the LCD, the least common denominator. If I factor, let me write this out. So I'm going to write this as 2x plus 6 over x times x plus 3 minus x plus 3 over x times x plus 1. Now my common denominator is going to be x times x plus 3 times x plus 1. So your LCD is x times x plus 3 times x plus 1. So we're going to put this whole thing over the same denominator, which is x times x plus 3 times x plus 1. In order to do that, we have to ask ourselves, just like you do normally with fractions, what times this old denominator, what expression times this gives me my new denominator? Actually, this is wrong. Did y'all notice that? This is 1. This is plus 1. All right. So we're asking, so what's missing is the x plus 1 right there. So we're going to multiply 2x plus 6 times x plus 1 minus, now we're looking at this old denominator. What times this old denominator here gives me the new one, or what's missing? And it's the x plus 3. So we're multiplying x plus 3 times the x plus 3 here. All right, because we're multiplying it by the LCD. Okay, so now we have the numerator. Now we're going to clean up the numerator and FOIL and do all that good stuff. So we're going to get 2x squared plus 6x plus 2x plus 6 minus, I'm going to put this in parentheses, x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. And to save time, what I'm going to do is write, for my LCD here, I'm just going to write LCD. I'll write that in later. Now let's clean up the numerator. So it's going to be 2x squared plus 8x plus 6. Now distribute the negatives, so we're going to negate this. Make sure you keep your parentheses here, because that's a common error. And so that you're going to negate everything. This is 6x. So we get minus x squared minus 6x minus 9 all over my LCD. Now let's clean this up one more time. So I'm going to group my x squares together. So that's just going to be x squared. And then 8x, I'll do that one. 8x is minus 6x is 2x. And then we have 6 minus 9 is negative 3. And I'm going to go ahead and write it over my LCD. Now my LCD again was x times x plus 3 times x plus 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and factor out the numerator again. So this is going to be x plus 3 times x minus 1 over my LCD, which is x times x plus 3 times x plus 1. Now what cancels is the x plus 3's. So we get x minus 1 over x times x plus 1. So my answer is C. And that's all. The next one we're going to do is another hard set. It's actually 2 problems, and they're word problems, and they're both, I believe, gridables. Okay, thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.